In this episode, we are talking to Ankit Rathi, who I know from in the last couple of years. I've met him in person. For the audience's understanding and knowledge, can you say who you are and what you do?
Hi Nitin, congratulations for this initiative and thanks for giving me this opportunity. Hello everyone. I'm Ankit Rathi and I am a data and AI architect and mainly responsible for designing and building end-to-end data or AI platform to serve the business needs.
Can you tell the audience how did you get into data science? Did you were you always in the field of data, or did you switch from any other profession to the data science profession?
No, luckily, it's like I started my career with data only in 2005. So
Okay.
I'm an electronics graduate actually. I passed out in 2005 and I started as a SQL programmer. So
Okay.
I programmed, it's like mainly I started with Oracle and then SQL Server, Teradata. So from database programming, I moved to the ETL, data warehousing and business intelligence stuff, and that's how it's like I got to know how data moves into an enterprise.
Mhm.
And from there it's like around 2013, data science and machine learning things were catching up fast. So and I was already working in data, so it's like it was easier for me to transition in.
Okay. And then how long have we been in this data spectrum?
So it's around 7 years.
Okay. All right. So a lot of experience there. So what if someone wants to like change their career into data science, or if someone wants to start new their journey into data science as a fresh graduate, what is the first step that they should take to start that journey into data science?
Okay, so data science is a vast area and it's basically a team game. It's
Yeah.
like no one can have it's like everything required because a lot of stuff is required to deliver a project or build a solution. Mathematics, linear algebra, multivariate calculates, probability and statistics, computer science and engineering like programming, software life cycle, DevOps, data engineering like big data analytics, cloud computing, storage, transformation. So a lot of stuff is there, and it's good to have a generic understanding of these topics,
Hmm.
and then specializing as a data scientist or machine learning engineer or data engineer or cloud engineer or DevOps engineer. So what I feel is that having a overview of the overall field, how AI is helping the business and the society, how a typical life cycle of data science and artificial intelligence project looks like, what are the steps, what kind of rules are there, which are the fields that are overlapping, that kind of understanding who does what, and then based on your understanding or your exposure, choosing a specialized field, whether you want to be a data scientist or machine learning engineer, data engineer, cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, project manager, or maybe even a tester.
Okay.
So based on that, you can concentrate on that particular of field in depth. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's some really good, interesting points. Like data science is quite vast field. So first, from taking from your point, first you just need to decide like, do you want to be a data scientist, or do you want to be a data engineer, or do you want to be a machine learning engineer? Just understand which path you want to take. Have that generic understanding, then build upon from there. So some very good points there. So um, I know it's a vast field. So what, in your opinion, are the some of the core skills that you need to get into this field?
Okay. So on a generic level, it's like SQL, Python, libraries like Pandas, Matplotlib, sklearn. For deep learning, TensorFlow, Keras. For cloud computing, AWS, GCP, Azure. For big data, Hadoop and Spark. For DevOps, like Kubernetes, Jenkins. But again, yeah, I mean, like these are the skills and tools that are required at various stages of the data science project. Um, um, but it's like as I mentioned, first having an overview, it's like how these where these techniques and skills are required in which phases of the project, and then based on the role that you have selected for yourself, digging deeper into that.
Okay.
So that's how go
Yeah,
accordingly.
that's really good point. Like these are all these tools that you mentioned. Those are the tools that you use to get the implementation done, isn't it? So that is coming to my next question. Like to get that job done using those tools, you should have a foundation in some mathematics, isn't it? So how
Yeah.
much mathematics do you think is necessary to get into data science?
It depends on the role. Basically, what I have seen is that a basic understanding is fine for all
Yeah,
the roles. But if you are a data scientist or a machine learning engineer and you need to customize the algorithm or tune them, then you need greater details into how each algorithm has been built and what kind of levers are there, which impact in what way, so that you can make the most of for your context, how to customize it and tune that algorithm. For other roles, means like basic understanding of mathematics is fine.
okay. Role specific, isn't it? That's what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah,
And Nitin, I would like to update you, means like actually Medium is a closed platform right now. Means like it
okay.
charges for the readers, and it's like it's not as open and it keeps changing its policies.
Yeah,
So I have many great bloggers and in means like and me as well. I'm
yeah,
not that, but yeah. So I've also moved out of Medium because of this.
okay.
Now really I got to know, means like I'm using Fast AI template of GitHub Pages.
Yeah,
So it's a good platform. It's open source, and I have more control over my content. And it's a beautiful platform. I have migrated all my posts from Medium to uh, the Fast
this
AI
new
platform.
platform. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So it's good, like one should check it out.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Anyone watching, I would be sharing the link under this video. So make sure to check that new link that Ankit has moved all his contents to. So thank you for updating us with that, so everyone can know where to find the new content from. So one of the other things that everyone, especially people coming to this field, new people coming to the field, get confused about is R versus Python. So there's a lot of conflicting information. So what is your take on that?
Okay. So I know both actually. I started with R in 2013, and that time Python was not that feature rich.
Okay.
And R was a kind of de facto language to learn data science and get means like into projects. So, but around 2016, while working on Kaggle competitions, I saw that means like people wrote beautiful kernels in Python, and to understand that, I needed to learn Python. And basically, that's how I started with Python. And right now, it's quite feature rich, and it's a kind of de facto for data science. R is also catching up nicely. So it's just it's like who is comfortable with what. And I would suggest, because means like why not both? I would
Yeah.
say means like today it's Python versus R, but tomorrow Julia might be in picture.
Yes, of
And
course.
more or less these languages works on a similar kind of principles. Very few things are here and there. So basically, what I am saying is like if I need to impute some data, or I need to transform it, or I need to build up a pipeline, uh, if suppose I need to do a project in R right now, and I'm not very much up to date with that, and I know Python, so I can just basically correlate. It's like, okay, I used to do this in Python like this. Now on Stack Overflow, I can see the relevant code for the similar task. So it's quite easy to switch. It's like I don't feel. It's like sometimes I analyze the data in SQL itself, and sometimes I need to work in PySpark for big data.
Yeah.
And even it's like in PySpark we have now koalas, which is a kind of pandas like library. So
Hmm.
things are evolving, and frameworks and languages will keep evolving. Today Python is on top, maybe some other language. So I would suggest that have in-depth knowledge on a language that you prefer, and then some generic knowledge of competitors as well, so that basically means like if tomorrow something happens, then basically you are able to switch and make the most of that thing.
Okay. So yeah, that's a very good point. At the end of the day, companies are quite flexible which tool you use as long as you can produce the results. The next question I always get asked is if someone's starting out new in data science. There is a lot of courses here and there. How do you create that roadmap leading up to that data scientist position?
Okay, so I used to get these kind of questions a year back a lot, means like around 10-12 questions every day from different people on LinkedIn. And then I decided to write a book. And it's not a simple question to answer as such, because it's like a lot of depends on when you are asking this, what your capabilities are and what kind of background you have, and then basically where do you want to go. So it's like I built a kind of framework, which is nicely captured in my book DSEI Self Starter Handbook, which was a kind of bestseller last year for me. It talks about a four-step framework.
Yeah.
First one is navigate. Navigate is basically you don't know anything about the field, and you are just like you are a visitor in a city or a state, and you are looking at the map. What is where and what should be my plan to visit all the places in an most optimized way. So navigate the overall landscape and see what is where, what is the overall process, what tools are there, what concepts a starter needs to learn. Then second step of the framework is build, where basically you work towards building your capabilities in those areas, like
Mm.
understanding concepts, picking some projects, your pet projects, and applying the process and the tools for data science. Third step is basically launching yourself in the market. Once you have all the capabilities, it's a good idea to basically project yourself in the market by writing blogs, um, connecting with people on the LinkedIn, having good references, and then yeah, getting an exposure in terms of publishing your podcast, your channel, and and it's like giving advice to the newcomers with your experiences, and seeking help from the seniors who are it's like having good exposure to the field. Then the last step is excelling in the field, which is basically because when I entered into data science or machine learning in 2013, that was a different year, a different kind of setup was there. Now, after 7 years, if I needed to start from scratch, I would have a different strategy,
Mm.
because earlier very few people knew about data science and machine learning. Now, a generic information at least everybody has, but you need to be more equipped with um, all the kind of knowledge, tools, and processes, and keep evolving, and how to stay relevant in the evolving field. Looking at the trends. Earlier, I was not able to tell me like what will happen next year or next to next year. At least right now, I not a fortune teller, but again, at least I have a kind of sense. Yeah, it's like okay, in last 7 years these things have happened. So based on that, I think next year it's like these things should happen, which may or may not happen. But again, start getting those sense. So that's how I think one should approach their
Okay,
role.
so some really good points there. Like first research, like what area you want to take, then do an iterative process. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Just evolve, then check back and see how you're doing. Then anything that you need, any weak points, you correct it, then move forward again. Then really good points on writing a blog and helping the new aspirers. Like that's really important to give back to the community. That's how we evolve as a whole in the data science community. So some really good points there. And also about projects, the companies will most probably want to see like what you can do. So a GitHub project will be a great thing to add to your CV as well. Which comes to my next question, which is how can someone from a non-technical background get into data science, and then do they have to have an master's or a PhD degree?
Okay, so data science, artificial intelligence, these are quite vast field, and when you are working in a project or maybe involved in several projects for a business, um, not everything can be in your control, and you can't be solely responsible for each and everything. So having technical experience is good, but again, it's more depend on the role, and then having those specific technical skills. Like if I need to manage an AI project, then I need to have a more of a functional and people management skill, and a know-how of technical. But if I am a data engineer or data scientist or cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, then I need to have solid understanding of that particular piece that I need to execute. So it's like, yeah, technical expertise is very much required, but not for everyone. Like the business analyst who need to understand the requirements. So basically, he need to be aware of the functionality and the business domain more than the technical. And technical is means like if he knows, so that he can interact with the data scientist or data engineer to convey the point. It's like it helps. So generally, I talk about the T-shaped skill set, where the horizontal line is knowing up to some level, introductory level of each the field involved in the project that you are working, like data engineering, cloud computing, data science, even up to some level the business domain, and then the vertical line in the T is the depth of your field, where you actually need to perform your tasks and add value to them. And
Yeah.
for the PhD degree or the master's degree, uh, in general, you don't require that. This is my opinion and what I have observed. But if you are doing some off the edge work or maybe research where you need to be very specialized in those areas, then yeah, having an advanced degree or maybe it's like a research background may help in those scenarios.
Okay. Yeah, again, some really good points. Depending on the role, you need to understand what technical um, knowledge that you need to have, and then you just go in that route and gain that experience. So for example, if you want to be a business analyst, then having an overall idea about what the programming computer science as a whole, and some Python or R knowledge would be enough. On the other side, if you want to be a machine learning engineer, you need to have that a bit more deeper knowledge of each area, and what's happening under the hood to get. So it's all about defining which role you want to be in the future, and then going towards our role, and learning the technical skills necessary for that role. And also regarding the master's degree, like you said, absolutely right. It depends on the role that you're doing, and also the projects that come your way. So it's so much a lot of people have went into data science without the masters or PhD, but it's important that you have some project to show if you don't have a degree, isn't it? That employers can know that you can do the job.
Yeah.
We are almost ending the nearing the end of our time. So, how can people find you, Ankit?
Okay, so on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
maybe in fact you can provide the link in your video description.
yeah,
AnkitRathi.com. That is my personal web page where basically my blog is there, where I write time to time on data and AI. Um, some latest news and articles are there. Some free resources are also there if somebody is looking to learn. All over the web, it's like few good resources are mentioned there. My books are listed if anybody is interested. And then basically my portfolio on different platforms, from GitHub to LinkedIn to it's like wherever it's like I have contributed. Um, and yeah, it's like so
okay.
my website
So,
has all the details here.
okay. So everyone listening, make sure you check out ankitrathi.com. So all the resources to where you can find his books, his blogs, everything is listed there. And of course, follow Ankit on LinkedIn. Um, Finally, last question. What is your one advice to new aspirers who wants to get into the data science?
Um, okay. So one thing that I have seen with the newcomers that they get fascinated by all the theory and it's like all the mathematics, which is good. It's like if you have extra time. But again, it's like not everybody in the project. If we look at the artificial intelligence solutions or the kind of problem that we need to solve, we need different kind of people. As we discussed earlier, that cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, data engineer, um, data scientists, business analysts, project managers. So even the data architects. So first, one should need to decide means like which role is more suitable to him, and then take and the approach, how to tackle it, and don't go into theory too much. Sometimes even it's like if I need to be a data scientist or machine learning engineer, then it's good to have a depth. But if you keep reading theory and will not apply in practice, then basically it will somehow you it's like the learnings that you have made will fade away over the period of time. So it's very um, much required to apply whatever you have learned. So start with a small project. Whatever you are learning, just keep applying that. It will give a different and deeper in understanding to what you have learned, and then you it will keep you focused as well. That
Mhm.
basically ultimately in an enterprise we are there to solve the problems. So a problem solution approach should be there even in the learning.
Okay, so yeah, so that's a great point. Like there should be a balance between theory and practice, isn't it? Like you can study books after books, but if you're not applying anything, then you're not moving forward. At the same time, you're just trying to apply, and then if you're not learning any new concepts, then you're stuck again. So it's that balance that helps you to move forward and always check back and then work on your weak points and then come back and apply it and then do that iteratively. So thank you very much for sharing that. So we have reached our end of the this video podcast. Thank you so much for being as one of the guests of these episodes and then sharing your knowledge. I'm sure our paths will cross again. And until then, thank you very much, Ankit.
Thanks, Nitin. Thanks for the opportunity, and all the best for your future endeavors here.
Thank you.